What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Road to Nowhere podcast. I'm your host, Edward Extreme, joined by my co-host, JimmyG from the JimmyG Experience over on Facebook, and I don't know how to pronounce your name on Twitch, but links will be down in the description below on YouTube. But, yeah, I don't know your Twitch link, and I should probably start putting it in the description or something whenever we do this.
Considering I don't do the live stream on Facebook, that'd be a good idea.
The
The Twitch is JimmyG _schmack, like talking schmack, SHMAK.
There you go.
That's my Twitch name.
I seriously
Thank you guys for
forget
tuning
all
in,
the time.
both sides. We do appreciate it.
Oh, okay. So, big week this week. If you play Destiny, as the Witch Queen launched, and I've been playing through on the Legendary campaign. We're going to talk about that. Jimmy has he has some things that needs to get off his chest, and I don't know. We'll fill the rest of the air with something. I don't know what. I'm working on it, but let's just start with Jimmy getting some stuff on off his chest, because I kind of want to see where this is going to go right off the bat. So
All right. So I've said from day one, and you did too, we're gonna not talk real political about stuff just because political parties and how extreme they can get both way, right and left. And the whole purpose of me bringing up something political is because life goes on. I'm a registered voter. I have a party that I prefer and turn to specifically because of the outlooks of everything. Okay. And I get emails from both sides, Democratic and Republican. And the Democratic Party comes to me and says, hey, let's do this. Let's do that. Look into this. Look into that. The Republican Party says, hey, come to us. The exact same thing, just two different sides. Well, I get a phone call, and that phone call says, we're going to host a rally. This rally is going to be in your city. We're going to be in Lakeside. I live in Lakeside, and that's where the rally is, right? And it's at 6 p.m. Supposed to go an hour and a half at a lake, but it's raining. How many people do you think are really going to show up?
None.
I mean, that political party, they only hurt themselves. You want people to show up for your rallies, don't host it in a freaking rainstorm. Like, come on. Check the weather. It's part of the news. Y'all go to the news. We all know you do. Sometimes that's what political parties thrive on.
Yeah.
So to not do some research and see that whatever rally you may be hosting may get just trashed by weather, come on. Use your brain.
So
Think about it. If you were invited to go to a party or a rally or a rave, and you didn't want to be out in the rain, would you go?
no.
Exactly. So to host something where you could potentially have thousands of people show up to show your support or whatever, no. You chose the wrong day.
So first thing I got to tell you, Jimmy, because I want to let you finish going on. Fucking sorry, dude. Number one thing about your mic. You see how mine is set up where the mic is facing me directly? That's how the Yeti is as well, because you kind of have it aimed at your mouth. So when you're talking, it's kind of doing one of these numbers where you get high-pitched sounds and then low sounds, where if you put it straight up against your mouth, it's perfect. It's something I noticed when you were talking just now, and I'm like, oh, that's why it's doing that. I had that problem too. So, but yeah, you finally got a semi-professional mic, and that's not a knock. That's like Yetis are considered like one step away from truly professional quality or professional.
Yeah, it had the grade was up there. Like it had the review pretty high.
Yeah, I used to have one. I used to love it. I actually still have it. In fact, I'm staring at the box now that I think about it. But yeah, they're a good product. I recommend them for anyone who is starting to do YouTube, Twitch, whatever, streaming, content creation. They're a great product. Me and Rev Roy have been going on and on to you specifically, like, dude, you gotta get a better mic. You gotta get a better mic.
Yeah.
And you always told us to basically go fuck ourselves.
Yeah. And that's how I truly feel. Like if I'm not going to do something, I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Understandably. What was the ultimate reason for you finally saying, screw it, I'm just going to do it and let's see how this works?
So I got tired of having to hook up my Bluetooth to my computer on a regular basis. Like when I'm gaming just for the sake of gaming, I've got my headset hooked up to my Xbox and my phone so I can listen to Pandora, or if I get a phone call, I don't have to share my conversation with whoever I'm gaming with.
Yeah.
With it on the computer, my mic has been taken over by Discord or by the Xbox app or whatever program on the computer is running a microphone, and it no longer has access to my Xbox. So I have to do the Xbox app on the computer, and then let's get real here. The Xbox app sucks. Like there's 3 different apps that Xbox uses, and I mean, come on. If you're gonna have an app or a program, make it work. Don't have
Yeah.
3 of them that don't work. So, yeah, the ultimate decision was the fact that if I'm going to make an avid thing of a weekly thing of streaming on my days off, which I haven't done yet today and today's or yesterday, today's my Sunday, and doing the podcast with you on Wednesdays, just switching back and forth with my Xbox headset with the Bluetooth capabilities, it really wasn't what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Plus, I like the idea of not wearing a headset. So if I'm doing the stream, like I like the ability to plug in and wear my headset in case my wife's here or my kids are being loud and I just need sounds.
Yeah.
But when I'm alone in the room in the house, I'd rather just have the airflow on these lovely ears, man.
And see, even if I had the opportunity to do that, like have like an open air thing, I still wouldn't do it for 2 reasons. One, you know me, I went to school for this, the whole production stuff, multimedia, video production. So I know like you have to hear what's going on because at any moment something can go sideways, and if you aren't fully paying attention to it, it'll mess with you. That's just me though. You know that. I'm uber critical about everything. Hell, we were trying to start the stream and I'm setting up his green screen so it comes through for you guys finally. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can still see pixels. I have to make him go away. So, but I understand where you're coming from, like wanting that comfort level when you can have it. I won't lie. I wish I could have that. The best I'm going to get is eventually I might get earbuds. But even then I'm like, dude, I can't wear earbuds for like 4, 5, 6 hours straight gaming, doing content. It's like that'll drive me nuts. There are times when I'm filming in the past where I would just have the TV set up and headset off and I'm just playing because like, dude, I don't want to have a headset on every single time I'm gaming. It does get annoying. But I wish I could have that for like the podcast as well. So maybe if and when situation changes and I can, improve my setup and have more space to move around and finagle things, and I can put the green screen behind me, maybe then I'll also get some speakers so that I can also have that luxury. But for right now, man, I hate these fucking headphones. They're pinching the crap out of my head. Real. And it doesn't help that this is a thing on my glasses. Like these glasses, I've had these glasses almost as long as I've known you.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're literally donezo. I need to get a new pair, but dude, just the frames are $250, and that's not even including the actual eye exam and the lenses. And I'm like, man, this is why when we sold the house, I was like, motherfucker. I was pissed that we didn't get as much money as we had hoped because that was my number one thing I wanted to do. That and
get new glasses.
Get new glasses, dude. Like I said, the lenses, everything. I've had them for over 20, almost 23 years now. So yeah, I mean, I got them in October of 1999, and I've known you since like June of 99. So yeah, almost 23 years I've been wearing these glasses.
It's kind of a shocker that you've had the same glasses for so long. considering, like, they say if your eyes don't change in 5 years or whatever, you have the same prescription. You're like an ideal candidate for all different kinds of eye stuff. Like as long as the lenses are bad, you can make a phone call and be like, "Hey, I need new lenses for my glasses," and they'll send you lenses. And then you just have to unscrew them, put them in, and rescrew them.
The issue I had was that, and it doesn't matter now because my father's passed, so it doesn't matter. I can say this out loud. My dad did my glasses. He worked at an optometrist center. He worked at a Vista Optical out in San Diego. I don't know if they're still there. I don't think they are. So he got the optometrist to do the appointment for free, and then he got me the lenses and the glasses for free. So there was no record of me ever getting these because we had no money, and so this was the only way I was going to get new glasses.
I got you.
So he got them through Vista Optical. He had to claim he was getting them for himself, but they were really for me. And since I was the only one of the three of us at the time that needed glasses, dun dun, there you go. So, but yeah, never had health insurance. The one time I did have it, I had it for like a year, and that's when my mom got it, and I was on her plan, and then I turned 21, and then it was gone, and I was like, all right, well, never mind. Yeah, pretty much, because I was about to tell my mom, I'm like, hey, I need to get new glasses, and she's like, well, you're not on my insurance plan anymore, and I'm like, what? Why? She goes, you turned 21. Well, that's bullshit. And she goes, yeah, tell me about it. You still live here. So, but yeah, so you were going about how stupid people set up stupid things and think stupidly and just totally shit on everyone's parade because they don't think through what, like, here's their plan and this is a great plan. Yeah. No, it's not.
Yeah. So big here, they got rid of, in my community, they got rid of all flavored tobacco. There's no more shisha. There's no more hookahs. There's no more menthol cigarettes. There's no peach cigars. There's no flavored tobacco.
Why?
All right. So now we're going to get into political parties. So the Democratic Party said if you're in an incorporated or unincorporated area, this, that, whatever, they put all these bans on flavored tobacco. In El Cajon, it is actually against the law. Huh?
You're too close to your mic. Back up.
Oh. In El Cajon, it's actually against the law to smoke in public.
It's that way everywhere in California, dude. I know that.
Not everywhere, but a
lot.
Oh,
yeah. So you mean that literally you can't even go outdoors smoke a cigarette anymore?
No.
Unless you're on your own private property?
Correct. So, like, if you're smoking a cigarette walking down the street, $150 to $250 fine or more, just for being in public smoking a cigarette.
That's nuts.
Right. And so, and now, like, that happened, and because it was so successful, they said, well, let's try to reach out a little bit. Let's go beyond smoking in public, and let's make a little bit more tobacco unaccessible. So, like, the Copenhagen, that's mint flavor, like I said, flavored cigars, menthol cigarettes, anything that has flavor, including vape.
Oh, I know about the vape.
Not allowed. It is, you can't buy it in my county.
Yeah. I knew about that one for a while.
Okay. So there's all these little things that are going into effect that are jeopardizing or manipulating what people do.
Mm-hmm.
And that rally that was here was the Republican Party rally, and it was trying to stop all these bans. It was trying to stop all this stuff that's happening. And I'm like, honestly, if you want people to go, stop being stupid. And the Democratic Party, if they want to have control and the Republicans are letting them have it, that's on them.
I'm sorry, dude. So I don't identify as either Democrat or Republican or independent. I don't identify as anything personally.
Right.
That being said, when you said that when you told the story earlier, you didn't tell me that part, and I was like,
I know.
I wonder if it was the Democratic Party that did this, but I don't see them being that dumb. Why do I have a feeling I know where this is going? So when you flat out just said it, I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I remember
Yep.
when Republicans, and mind you, we're not talking about politics specifically here, you guys. Okay, um, I remember when Republicans actually were like the better party. Like my ideals aligned with them more.
Yeah.
That shifted over time. The Democratic Party now kind of has that, but there are still things that Republicans say, and I'm like, hmm. Overall, though, when you look at the actual like big party, like those in Congress, so on and so forth, I look at some of these people and I go, how did you get elected? Forget the party affiliation. How did you, as a human being, get elected to this position? Because you're a shit human being. You should not be there. Forget your
Yeah.
political views. It's the person. Like, I'm not going to say
Yep.
names. It drives me nuts seeing some of these people in there. I'm like, are there that many dumb people where you live that you somehow seem like the better of the two options? What the?
Dude, it's like that with so much stuff.
And this isn't. I'm not just knocking Republicans either. I'm saying all of the people in Congress. There are so many people in Congress that I look at and I'm like,
Yeah, how are you
how?
the best option?
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
there are
Yeah.
some. There are Democrats in there, and I'm like, you're a shit human being. You shouldn't be there. There are several
Yeah.
Republicans and Democrats that I look at and I go, they're doing their job.
Yeah.
I salute them. I support them. Even though I'm not in their district, in their city, in their state, whatever, I don't care. They're doing their fucking jobs. It's the ones who are out here and they're just trying to be famous that drive me nuts. It's like, shut the fuck up. Do your
Yeah.
fucking job. You know?
Yep.
And I wish that was something that happened. But then stuff like what happened to you recently where they're holding this rally and like you couldn't move the rally to an indoor facility. You couldn't notify
Right.
these people who wanted to be there. Like,
There's-
come on.
There's a VFW hall. VFW, military, government, hello. There's a VFW hall literally at the
That
same
they can't use those
lake.
facilities. They can't use those facilities.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, there's
Yeah,
a building.
that's something
there's
I've
an
known for a while.
establishment. There's an establishment there. There is a roof at the same freaking spot.
And I
that you
mean,
just
how hard is
don't
it to
move to.
rent a tent? Like,
yeah.
that's even that solves the problem. Just rent a tent. I mean, it's like what, $1,500 to rent a big ass tent? Ta-da! There you go. Put up a little stage. Ta-da! There you go. Problem solved. Do your rally. No fucking.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
dude.
no,
That's
but so
hilarious.
no,
to
no,
me,
it's
though.
it's good. That was just some of the stuff that had come to my light. You know, they just said, "Hey, look at this." I'm like,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, I think it's funny.
really?
Like, you got rain, dude. We got like
Yeah.
a foot of fucking snow.
Yeah, and the rain was
So-
only like inches anyway.
Yeah,
It was
no, we
inches.
got a foot. So just going here, and then we're gonna touch on go to the Destiny stuff here in a minute. So we get a foot of snow Sunday night. It starts snowing, and I'm sitting here, and Kim, my girlfriend, she was at work. She works for her church. She didn't get home till like 7:30, but it's coming down from about noon. And at first I'm like, no big deal. You know, it hasn't really like snowed heavy all year long. So we should be fine. Maybe
Right.
3-4 inches, right? That's what they're forecasting. It just keeps going and it's getting worse and it's getting worse. And I'm like, holy fuck. And so me and Elliot go outside real fast and we kind of quickly like try to shovel snow to get like create a path for her so she can come in because she's a short little woman. I love her to death. I also don't want her to fall and fucking get hurt or something because it fucking easily turns the ice out here. We were out there for maybe 10 minutes. We come inside 10 minutes later. There's already 1.5 inches on the ground again. I'm like, that was a big fucking waste of time. But by Sunday night, there was a full foot of snow on the ground. So then Monday, Elliot goes outside takes a big ass trash can, fills that motherfucker full of snow, turns it upside down, puts it down, pulls it up, fills it again, sticks it back on top of the other pile, and makes himself a trash can snowman.
Did he at least get like some sort of
He
a
had
tool
there
and
was
like carve it out and
no,
like make
no. He
design
left
out
it
of
looking exactly like a fucking stack of trash can snowmans. But he put the rocks, he put the sticks. I swear, if he had a scarf, he would have put that on too. But he had
Hey
no.
man, the kid's creative.
He did
He's
that,
creative.
and he comes inside. He's like, "I finally made a snowman, but I cheated." And I'm like, "What did you do?" I'm thinking he took a bucket. No, he tells me what he did. I go over to look. I start dying laughing, dude. Oh, excuse me,
man.
but
Yeah, it's innovative. Let's go.
It was hilarious. I was like, "That is my brother." And he sent a picture to Eric, and I don't know what Eric said, but I was dying laughing. I thought it was hilarious. But it's gotten better. I mean, it's started to warm up until today. This morning at like 7:00, right before I went on live, it was negative 22 degrees. It's only right this second, right now, and this is why I'm not going outside today. It's -4. So it's come up quite a bit, but I'm still not going outside in fucking negative weather. And there is very high, like there's, I wouldn't say high winds, but there's decent winds going. So you step outside, it's like, fuck, I can't go back inside. Mind you, I love living here.
The best part about that statement, I'm going to New York here in a few days or in a few weeks. So yeah, keep in mind, guys, March next month. So mid next month, that podcast, I'm either going to have to be going from my phone and you'll have audio and then some image that Extreme's going to put up, maybe my logo or I don't know. But
we will
may
definitely
not have anything.
That one. We will probably
if I'm going to be home on time, I just don't know. I want to say it's the 14th that I'm coming back.
Or we could do
New
it.
York.
So you're coming back on the 14th? Hang on, let me double check.
I think so. That sounds
right. This is honestly the first I've heard of it. And it doesn't care. That's a Monday. We do the podcast on a Wednesday.
Oh yeah, so I'll be back on time.
Okay, then never mind. I was gonna say if you wanted to. Now, when do you leave though?
The 9th. The 10th. We leave on the 10th. So the 9th, which is our podcast, I will be home and I'll be getting ready for the journey, for the trip. And dude, talk about some good talks. I could talk some hours on my New York trip. I'm so excited.
Well, then we'll have something to talk about when you come back. So that'll definitely be our March 16th episode. We'll be talking about your trip to New York. That'll be cool. And
I'm excited.
If everything works out, I doubt it. I doubt everything's going to work out. It looks like I won't be up there till best case scenario is probably May, early June. We'll see. I may end up coming out in June anyways, simply because my oldest niece, can't say her name. I talked to her dad, my brother Eric, about coming up here for like a week. And that might still happen. I don't know. I haven't talked to Eric about it in a while. I also don't know when I'm going down there, but I am supposed to go down there hopefully before Kim goes off to summer camp, because she's the executive director for a summer camp in Michigan. And she will be gone for about a month. So I kind of want to have my niece come up, hang out, because my niece has met her. She met her in July of 2020, right before my dad passed, because Eric and her came up. I can't say her name, because if I say her name, Eric will kill me. Like, you can do it. I don't care. I do it. I get shit on. I swear, with them, there's a big double standard with stuff like that. So she was supposed to come up for a little bit.
Maybe it's because he likes me more.
That's a good possibility, dude. I'm not going to deny that. It doesn't bother me. I love the kids. I love my brother. He can be a real ass. But I think what it was is that when I first started doing YouTube, the oldest was like 6, and she was in my intros. Her voice was in my intros. I would used to have a little logo bounce around the screen, and then at the very end you would hear, boom, bitches, that was my niece. That was my oldest niece. And then you would hear me laughing, going, "I'm going to hell." I recorded that as a joke, like for my own like enjoyment. I still have the clip. I play it every now and again, and I laugh my ass off when I hear it because she has this cute little voice that just, oh my god, hearing her say "boom bitches" is hilarious to me. I added that to my videos without asking Eric or Katie, and next thing I know, Eric's like, "Dude, if that wasn't so perfect, I would absolutely kick your ass and be fucking pissed at you." Katie hears it, thinks it's hilarious, gives me full permission to use it. Eric gave me full permission to use it. But it was only because it came off so well that they're like, all right, you can keep using it. Otherwise, there's no fucking way they wanted their kids anywhere near what I was doing. Because at the time, especially, there was so much out there about kids on the internet and getting harassed and, other stuff happening. And even now, to this day, I still protect my nieces and nephew by not saying their names on my streams. That's why, like, they could be watching, like, they watched my Sunday stream. They found a way to access Twitch when I'm live, and they watched me on Sunday. I found out
they've tuned in to watch me play Rocket League back when that was like the only thing that I was doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know, but usually what they would do is they would be watching it through like Katie or Eric's phone. But occasionally
they have their own tablet now.
They have their own accounts, but they're not supposed to be. They can watch streams, like they were allowed to watch my stream, but they couldn't. They're not allowed to interact because of the crazy people of the world. And so I told them myself personally, I don't care if they watch my streams. I don't care if they watch the VODs. I don't care if they watch the YouTube stuff. Don't comment. Don't interact in the chat until you're at least 16. And my oldest niece was like, well, that's pretty soon. And I go, not really. So, but it's just a matter of like, I want to protect them so that the shitheads of the world can't hurt them. They already have enough people messing with them in their day-to-day real world lives. They don't need people from the internet trying to hurt them as well. And so I totally agree with my brother on protecting his kids in that way because I love them to death. And I would be extremely pissed at myself if it was my fault that something happened to them like that. Like I just couldn't do it. So, but so I'm supposed to be out there sometime this year and to clear out the locker finally, deal with that whole situation and hang out with you. Hopefully we can film a podcast in the same room. That'd be awesome. We will probably film at least 2 or 3 podcast episodes because by the time I come home from that trip, dude, I am going to be physically spent, mentally spent, and I'm just going to want to shut the fuck down and be like, leave me the fuck alone. But if I have my niece with me, yeah, there's no way I'm streaming when I get back with her here. So, but we'll see. Hopefully by then the situation has changed. We'll see what happens, but that's down the line. Anywho, since we've been all over the place, let's get back onto one of the topics we actually had for the show. Witch Queen.
Political stuff was a topic we had for the show.
Technically, it was. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
My big thing that I was like, hey,
we kind of swerved around it in a sense, but we definitely were. That was the topic we opened the show with, and I'm actually happy we did that.
And that's what I tried to explain to you before when we were just kind of lining up to talk about the podcast when it comes to stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when I have a topic of discussion, it's not just taking like my own personal thoughts and feelings on it. It's more reaching out to anybody who's out there who wants to listen. Yeah. And it's and as you and I discussed, it's nice to have somebody pitch something and then the other person be there to do the back and forth banter, not just take one side.
Yeah.
And expect that to be what it is and okay.
Yeah. I've done this show for so long by myself that when we were first talking about doing it, I knew I wanted someone with me the whole time. Since the day when I started, I wanted to have Eric on originally because, oh God, just give him a microphone, shut up, sit back, and watch the fireworks and the explosions because he's going to burn every fucking bridge he could ever have. I love him to death. He's got a mouth. But at the same time, I was like, I want to have someone on that will be a regular, not just a guest. Because eventually I
Right.
will get Eric to be on one of these, probably when I'm down there, especially if you help me in convincing him. And plus having another person to be like, hey, shut the fuck up, like that'll help too. But I wanted someone I could do this with and have fun with. And in my back of my head, in my fantasy land, it was either you or I got nothing
Or
because it was literally just you. Like you were the one person I wanted to do this with because I thought
I,
that would be
I feel
fucking
like
fun.
that response there was completely inaccurate. Don't let him lie to you guys. I feel like he would have said it's either you or it's Dave. Because Dave and
No,
him were
no,
good
no,
friends for a
no,
long time too
no. But
before.
by the time I started doing this, dude, me and Dave were not friends at all at that point. Like we outright hated each other, and in the time since then, I can't say I hate the guy, but I have no interest in what he's doing, what's going on in his life. I
Yeah.
wish him the best, but I'm not
Well,
his friend, and then that's the end of that. He was
I
friends with you and Eric, and I was like, cool, you guys can do whatever you guys want.
yeah.
I am done.
Like I've got no love lost for that guy. Like I love that dude. He's still, he's still got little spots in my heart,
Yeah, no, I know. I
Oh
have that
God,
way
I
with
apologize about that. No,
I have
but
that
yeah,
way with
he's
P.
still got little spots, and I wanted to do a podcast with him before, and he had the Rusty Razor podcast that he had started up.
Yeah,
Like I feel like I was talking to him about starting one before he actually did that, and then he started it, didn't say, hey, Jimmy, check it out. Like I got this going. Let's do this. And he kept it all for himself and his wrestling friends and this and that. And I'm like, fine,
and
that's
I think
cool. You
that's
don't
what it ended
involve
up
me. It is
being.
what it
Like
is.
it was predominantly a
Huh?
wrestling podcast too. Like that's predominantly what
Well,
they
yeah,
talked
but I
about.
was heavily into wrestling at the time,
That's true.
and
You
chances
were.
are, if I had been invited, I might have stayed involved in wrestling.
Yeah.
But it was
Ooh.
that was something that I wanted to be a part of, and I kept getting the nonsense. So I'm like, you know what? And then I just kind of said, I'll just let it all go, like whatever. Like UFC, I used to watch every UFC event, like ever. And then my wife turned to me one day and she goes, I really hate UFC. Like, I don't like the fact that you order every pay per view. I don't like watching it. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
And ever since that day, I have not ordered a single UFC fight.
Yeah.
And I think that was like when Conor McGregor was still like brand new, like an
Yeah.
up and comer.
Yeah.
And I'm like keeping an eye on this dude. That was probably the last UFC stuff that I'd actually bought and paid for. And then I got to see a couple here and there by going over to Roy's house or Tommy's house or, Jill's brother's house or because I had people over, I'd order the fight. But I really don't anymore because she told me how much she hated getting them and how much she hated them, period. So I kind of steered away from all that, like wrestling, watching the pay-per-views all the time, UFC with the pay-per-views, even Ultimate Fighter on TV.
The
I
thing I
don't even watch that anymore.
the thing I find interesting about wrestling and UFC specifically, with UFC you can now get an online like pass, whatever, and you get all the pay per views, you get everything. Every show they do is all in one place with the UFC pass or Fight Pass, whatever it's called. And I think that's cool. And right around the same time that that was coming out, the WWE started their network, and that's where they put all their pay per views. WrestleMania's there, all that. I still watch wrestling, as you know. As far as UFC goes, I've kind of stayed aware of what's going on with the product, but at the same time, I'm like, I know the names like Conor McGregor, Ronda Rousey, I do Brock Lesnar, Heath Herring. I saw that fight at your house, by the way. Um, Randy Couture, like Randy Couture's tired, but like I followed it with you, and when you and I wouldn't say we stopped hanging out, but our lives, went in separate directions, and you were doing your thing, I was doing my thing, and we didn't really get a chance to interact. I stopped watching UFC and stopped having any real interest in it, other than watching when people would shit on the fights because I'm like, why are they shitting on this fight? Oh, that's why they're shitting on this fight. Because there have been some
Yeah.
fights that were built to the moon and then it's over, or it was like two guys like kind of standing in two corners and just kind of like swinging and missing and not really fighting. And it's like, man, I would be pissed if I paid $60+ for this fight right now. I would be livid.
Oh, I remember paying the 60, 65, 75, or whatever it was for a couple different fights that lasted literally 30 seconds. And during that 30-second fight, I had used the bathroom. Like, I hear the entrance music. I'll be there in a second. I really got to go to the bathroom. And I'm coming back out. And the winner is... I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. I think that's why I never lost interest in wrestling. As much as I don't watch the weekly shows, I still watch the big events. I still watch WrestleMania every year. I will be... I will definitely be watching this year's because of... And this is one other thing I wanted to talk about. You're a wrestling fan to some old school sense.
I'm actually very tempted to order a WrestleMania this year because
you know what you should do. You know what you should do if you have Peacock, just watch it there because it's going to be on Peacock.
Really?
That's where the network is
live.
Now. Yeah, it's the live stream will be on Peacock because that's where the WWE network is now.
I don't know if I have Peacock Live, but I think I
do.
No,
it's part of the Peacock package. Like if you have Peacock Premium, you've already got WWE Live. So you're
I don't know if I have premium, but I'll look.
Do you have commercials when you're watching Peacock?
I don't know.
It's like an extra $5. It's literally like an extra $5, dude.
I don't honestly. I don't know. Like so a lot of the streaming stuff that we have access to, we don't necessarily pay for.
Okay.
So like my wife's sister pays for a couple, my wife's brother pays for a couple, we pay for a couple, but we all share our information, so we have access to everything. It's cheaper than paying cable, and we're all paying.
Yeah, that's how my girlfriend's family is. They kind of all share stuff. We still have our own. Me and Elliot still have our own Netflix account. We have our own Peacock account. I actually share that with Eric and the kids. I had Rooster Teeth for a while. I canceled it because with streaming, I'm not watching it as much as I used to. So
why don't you go ahead and tell me your Peacock login and password right now, and I'll jot it down real quick.
How dumb do you think I am? The reason why I bring up WrestleMania this week specifically is because last Sunday it was officially announced. He retired 2 years ago, like a year and a half. Yeah, 2 years ago. In 2020 he retired, but this year the Undertaker is the premier. Like he's the show. He's going in the Hall of Fame. So
that's cool.
Yeah. I watched his last match. It was my dad actually came upstairs and watched it with me. That was the last wrestling match I watched with my dad, and it was the Undertaker's last match. It was which if you watch if you have Peacock, go watch it. It's the Last Ride with the Undertaker documentary series. It talks about what happened leading up to that. Like he found out, I think it was his brother had passed away right before he did that match. And so you know how we used to shoot matches across the street? Like we would be in one section of the house and then we'd move the camera in another and we'd keep fighting.
Yeah.
That's how they did that match.
Nice.
So, because they couldn't do it because of COVID that year. So they did it. It was the Undertaker versus AJ Styles. It was good, dude, for a highly choreographed match, theatrical match. It was amazing. I would recommend if anyone wants to see that, go out of your way to see it. You could probably watch it on YouTube, but I will always tell people support the wrestlers. And if as much as people say, oh, it doesn't support them, go watch it on Peacock. It's an extra $5 if you've already got Peacock. Pay the extra $5 Go watch it. You will be entertained for that one match. But it was announced on Sunday or Saturday, sorry, because they were doing the Elimination Chamber from I don't know where it was. It was in freaking Saudi Arabia. But they announced it at the top of the show. But Newsweek, ESPN, all these major news sources here in the States were already running stories because it was announced early by them that the Undertaker's going to the Hall of Fame. He's the last guy that's going to go out that night, and it's going to be the night before the first WrestleMania. WrestleMania is 2 nights. They've done that like the last 3 years now, where WrestleMania is over the course of 2 nights. It's
I
still like 3-4 hours long each night, but I mean,
I hate that. That sounds awful.
the first year they did it in 2020, it wasn't so good. Last year's was way better because they were actually in front of a crowd and they had the set and everything, and it just felt better. Like it felt awesome. Now, if memory serves me correctly, WrestleMania is supposed to be in LA next year. It was supposed to be in LA last year, but again, coming out of COVID, they just pushed their schedule back, and then LA wasn't available this year because something. So they moved up one of their shows and they pushed LA back to next year. So I was telling Kim, like, I want to go to WrestleMania next year. I want to go to my stomping grounds, go to SoCal. I want to go there and I want to go make a week of it. I want to go a couple days before, hang out with my brother and the kids in San Diego, go see some sights, whatever, go to WrestleMania and then hang out a day or two after as well. Plus, I want to do some of the WrestleMania events and go to WrestleMania Access if they have it. Because who knows where we're going to be with COVID this time next year. Probably in the same
Right.
fucking spot we're in now. But
It's the new norm. It's the new norm.
I
It is what
know.
it is.
It's frustrating as hell for me because as a guy that doesn't want to like go outside, this is just more reasons for me to stay inside. But I have a girlfriend who's a social
I'm right
butterfly.
there with you. No,
So
I'm right there with you. Like I used to love going outside, getting on the bike, going to motorcycle club events, and going and hanging out with my brothers in the community and seeing everything, and take my kids out and going to concerts and just life. I loved it. COVID happened, and it's like I don't want to go out anymore.
yeah.
And the whole it's got nothing to do with being like scared or nervous. It's if you get sick with COVID, you're mandatory 11 days off of work.
Yeah. Well, here it's
And
only a
who
week.
fucking afford that?
Here it's only a
Who
week.
can
Sorry, I
afford?
know I'm messing up.
Well, yeah, but I mean, who could afford it? If it's a mandatory, you're not getting PTO. The state's not paying for you anymore. You are now SOL if you get sick.
Well, again, here in Montana, if you get COVID, and depending on where you work, that's the thing. If you work for the state, you still get PTO. But if you work for a private, company, yeah, you're shit out of luck. You get like 4 days of PTO, and the last 3 you're on your own. So, but if you work for the state or you work for this, like in any way, shape, or form, so school districts, fire departments, whatever, if you get COVID, you're out for a week and you get the whole week paid for. But if you're working for like Target, Walmart, whatever, you get 4 days unless that company pays you to be off for that time. So, but
Yeah.
I know that Walmart does that in Cali as well. Because I know that they pay you to be off for like they'll pay you for 5 days if you're off for 7 or whatever it is. Like if you're off for 2 weeks, they'll pay they'll pay you for the equivalent of working like your normal schedule. So if you would have worked 4 days that week, you'll get 4 days worth of pay from when you got COVID, and then they'll pay you for like essentially the same amount, like whatever your normal hourly schedule would be, like what they would work you for. They'll pay you for that,
Yeah.
but that's the only company I know that does that. Like everyone else, it's kind of like, oh, you're off, kiss that, kick rocks, bud, you know. And it's shit because it's like you're telling people not to come in if they have COVID, but at the exact same fucking time, you're telling them if they don't come in, they're not going to get paid. It's like,
Yeah.
so why do you think this shit's still going on? It's because
Yeah.
fucking stupid people and companies being greedy and selfish and only worried about themselves and their profit lines. And it's like, if you want this stuff to end so you can start making more money and have more product on the shelves, hey, guess what? Stop being douchebags to your employees for 5 fucking minutes and let them, you know, like deal with this without getting penalized for it. It's not their fault they got COVID. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It just it pisses me off.
Yeah. I don't want to do this to you. I don't want to do this to you, but I know you want to talk about Witch Queen, so let's go over there to do that because
No,
it
I'm
is
fine
now
with that.
12:02.
You got to bail, don't you?
Very, very, very soon.
Yeah.
So,
So
like, I probably got 10 minutes.
cool, because that's about all the time I've got for it at the moment because I still haven't finished the campaign or all the other stuff. So far, I'm enjoying the hell out of it. And I highly recommend anyone who's on the fence, just go watch some YouTube videos of other people playing it. My impressions are still forming, but the overall theme is I'm enjoying the fuck out of it. I'm having a lot of fun. When you get back, I should be done with the campaign. So we absolutely should tag team the legendary campaign together. But yeah, I definitely like. I would love to go into more of this. We just don't have the time. That's my own dumb fault. But yeah, we absolutely, we definitely should talk more about it next week when both of us had a chance to play it too, especially the legendary campaign. But
Yeah.
early impressions are, holy shit! I want this to be the norm for expansions going forward because, holy crap, this is awesome. And there's so much. Like, there was a lot to do before with the seasonal contents and stuff, but the base game was kind of, That is not the case right now. There is a ton of shit to do just in the base game because of Witch Queen and what they added. So, yeah, I highly recommend you get on, play, have some fun. As I said before, you and I, once you get back from getting your boys, we should totally do the cooperative tag team, the campaign on Legendary. I don't know if I'm going to stay on the same character, if I'm going to switch. We'll see. I haven't decided just yet. But yeah, man, I know you have a short amount of time left. This is going to be probably the shortest episode we do for a while. But I think we should just kind of leave it there for now. And next week, we'll talk way more in depth about Witch Queen because then we'll both have something to say about it. And yeah, I think that's a good place to leave things this week.
Before we completely drop it there, something I noticed when I loaded up Destiny 2 today, just to see what was what, it actually said the campaign is happening. Pick one. Like, I didn't even let me go into my dashboard. It didn't let me go to the tower. It didn't let me. No, it just, hey, look, here's the new things. I'm like, oh shit.
So
I ended up
first
turning it off,
scene,
and I'm hoping that it pops back. But there's
yeah. So if you got that first opening cutscene, that's the start of the campaign. Like, that's the very start of it. So you can skip it. It won't mess with anything, as I found out. So you're fine. You have nothing to worry about. But yeah, it's that will confuse people. I guarantee it. But no, you can easily drop it and then go to the tower because that's what I did. I went to the tower and burned a bunch of bounties and turned in some stuff. But yeah, there is a little there's definitely going to be some confusion with that step. But yeah, no, you should be fine once you get back on. So, but yeah, that's where we should definitely leave things this week, dude. And I will be here still streaming Destiny here in just a few minutes. If you're watching on YouTube, you should join me every single day over on twitch.tv at ExtremeFTW Gaming. You should also join at twitch.tv/JimmyG_Smack, right? Is that it?
SHMAK. Yep.
And also you're on Facebook. Well, again, if you're on YouTube, the links will be down in the description below. But if you're here on Twitch right now, thank you guys for joining us. I'll be back in just a few minutes. Jimmy will be back after he gets the kiddos. But we will see you guys next week for another episode. Until next time, adios.